Every 2 years, Disney takes over all of Anaheim to get folks pumped about all of the things they want to sell you. New attractions, new movies and TV shows, new popcorn buckets, you name it. And this Friday, D23 kicks off. And I went through every panel, every product listing, and every rumor I could find and pulled out only the stuff that matters. And what's that, you ask? Well, the music, of course. And we're going track by track. Hey party people, I'm Chris Waffle and welcome to Area Loop, where we look at the songs that make the rides and the music that makes the parks. Today we're doing something a little different because D23 runs this Friday through Sunday, August 14th to the 16th at the Anaheim Convention Center. First, let's begin by talking about how I'm not going to be there, even though attendance estimates show that it'll probably be 50% Disney influencers. And I've been to D23 in the past and had a wonderful time. But I couldn't make it down this year. Hopefully next time. And I need you all to like and subscribe so I can get that sweet, sweet media pass. Anyway, there's a booth at this thing. Hall B, booth E13, the Disney Music Emporium. And they've announced 14 new releases with D23 attendees getting to order all of them before anyone else. There's vinyl listening booths, there's a prize wheel, and everything ships free to your house. So when I sat down to write this, they had revealed 3 titles, and then I finished writing it, and I left to see Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then I came back to film, and suddenly they had revealed 7. So I feel like they're dropping these one at a time on Instagram at a pace specifically designed to ruin the life of one guy in Oregon trying to make a video about it. But let's get down to talking about these quickly before they announce any more. So here's the big one. It's a 2 LP set called The Music of EPCOT, and it's explicitly built as a follow-up to the official album of EPCOT Center from 1983. Now, if you aren't familiar with that 1983 record, here's the whole thing, and no doubt I'll be doing episodes on all these songs at some point. But the track list was the main entrance medley, Golden Dream, Energy You Make the World Go Round, The Computer Song, Magic Journeys, Canada, You're a Lifetime Journey, Universe of Energy, Listen to the Land, One Little Spark, It's Fun to Be Free, Making Memories, and then Kitchen Cabaret Medley, which was Boogie Woogie, Baker Boy, Meat Ditties, and Veggie Fruit. So 12 entries. And of those 12, how many of those attractions still exist today? I guess Golden Dream, Listen to the Land, and One Little Spark, but a newer version. Everything else on that record is gone. Kitchen Cabaret, gone. Magic Journeys is gone. World of Motion, which gave us Making Memories and Fun to Be Free, is now Test Track, which, by the way, should absolutely have its own original song. So Disney, call me. I can do it. I do something like, Don't test me, I'm tracking to the future. No. So what's on this new one? Well, Disney has not released a track list, so what they have confirmed, and this is directly from the announcement, is 4 titles and one sort of a surprise. So we've got Listen to the Land, New Horizons, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, plus an excerpt of Walt himself talking about what EPCOT was supposed to be. And the cover is Spaceship Earth lit at night, and it comes out on October 2nd, which is EPCOT's anniversary, so that's super cool. And party people, I need to talk about New Horizons for a second. My next regular episode this Friday is about There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow and the Carousel of Progress, and I talk about how in 1982 General Electric commissioned the Sherman Brothers to write a brand new theme song for it called New Horizons, but GE passed on it. But the song was made. GE also sponsored the Horizons Pavilion at EPCOT, which opened in 1983, and whose theme song is called New Horizons. So I haven't been able to confirm whether those are the same song or if they're related songs or just a coincidence. If you know, put it in the comments down below. I'm anxious to see how that works out. So what else is on it? Well, let's do the math. And even though I'm bad at math, we've got 2 LPs, that's 4 sides, a standard size side runs somewhere around 20 to 22 minutes if you want the bass to survive the pressing. So you're looking at roughly 80 minutes of program. So let's call it 18 to 24 tracks, depending on how much of it is full-length show music versus kind of excerpts and shorter versions. So we've got 4 confirmed. So there's something like 15 to 20 open slots left. And here's what I think might be on there. So we probably will have Golden Dream, right? The emotional center of the American adventure. And it was on the original. We'll have probably One Little Spark, the new version. We've got Spaceship Earth maybe in some form because it's on the cover. Impressions de France because that's Buddy Baker's arrangement. And that's one of the most respected pieces of music Disney has ever commissioned for a pavilion. So we got to have Buddy Baker in there. Very likely Soren. I'm hoping for the original Jerry Goldsmith score. But most likely it'll be probably the newer Bruce Broughton version. It's a winner either way. But I would be shocked if that wasn't there. Test track music probably. Project Sunshine form rather than the 1999 version. Maybe something from Mission Space, the Trevor Rabin score. And Frozen Ever After because Disney is going to want some song on there that the kids recognize from a movie. The one I'm actually anxious about is Illumination's Reflections of Earth. Gavin Greenway's score for that show is a beloved classic, and it ran for 20 years. Grown adults still cry about it on YouTube, but it's 12 minutes long in its full form, so that's more than half a side. So either they give it the space it deserves and it becomes the centerpiece of the release, or they cut it down to maybe a 4-minute edit, and people are probably going to be upset about it, and or they skip it entirely in favor of some other current show or the current nighttime show, and there'll be a riot. But they've already told us about Cosmic Rewind and Remy, so I think this isn't really a nostalgia record. It's kind of a here's the whole history and current record. So the current nighttime show might be taking the slot that Illuminations rightfully deserves. We'll have to see. The songs I want and do not expect are Tapestry of Nations, Randy Newman's Farewell to Illusions from the old Journey into Imagination, and any of the Kitchen Cabaret material. Would Disney put Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit on a new release in the year of our Lord 2026? Probably not. I would love to be wrong. Now, the second release, Pixar Hits on yellow vinyl. So here's what's on that. You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. The Time of Your Life from A Bug's Life. If I Didn't Have You from Monsters, Inc. Nemo Egg from Finding Nemo. Let's Incredible Again from The Incredibles. Life is a Highway from Cars. The Ratatouille main theme. Define Dancing from Wall-E. Married Life from Up. When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2, such a tearjerker. Bundle of Joy from Inside Out. Remember Me, the lullaby version from Coco. It's All Right from Soul. Nobody Like You from Turning Red. And Steal the Show from Elemental. That's 15 tracks. And it's a film album, but almost half that is park music now, whether Disney frames it that way or not. Nemo Egg plays in the Seas Pavilion. The Ratatouille theme is basically the Remy ride. Remember Me is going to be all over the Coco attraction going into DCA. You've Got a Friend in Me has been like all sorts of things all over the parks. And but the missing things are interesting too. It says 40 years of Pixar, but it stops at Elemental, which came out in 2023. Then they've got no Brave, no Luca, no Onward, no Toy Story 3, which means no We Belong Together, which was something Randy Newman won an Oscar for when it came out. Third release, Disney Channel Throwback Volume 1 on translucent blue vinyl. And Volume 1 is doing a lot of work there because that means they're planning more. And this is also one with a fully confirmed track list. So we've got Breaking Free from High School Musical, This Is Me from Camp Rock, Supernova Girl from Xenon, Nothing's Wrong with Me from Pixel Perfect, Hero from Starstruck, Bailando en la Ciudad from Gotta Kick It Up, Determinate from Lemonade Mouth, Strut from Cheetah Girls 2, Gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical 2, Rush from Twitches, Magic from Wizards of Waverly Place, and Push It to the Limit from Jump In. Now, This is probably the least park relevant of the three so far, and to be honest, let's just say I'm slightly aged out of the target demographic for these movies. However, I ran a short independent survey of some party people in the Gen Z demographic, and here are some of the comments I received. This first one from Sammy: nothing from Hannah Montana is absolutely crazy to me. Also, low-key should have picked somebody instead of Determinate from Lemonade Mouth. Bryn said, choosing Gotta Go My Own Way over Bet On It is criminal. Bet On It is the far better High School Musical 2 song, and nothing from Let It Shine. And finally, Ezra, I don't remember any of these. So there you have it. Can't please everyone, I guess. And it's a volume 1, so maybe some of these concerns will be addressed in a later volume. Now, this next one is something I was hoping for, but in a format I could have never imagined. It's a Figment-shaped die-cut picture disc. The record is shaped like Figment, and on it are 2 versions of One Little Spark. You've got the song. It's written by the Sherman Brothers for Journey into Imagination in 1983, pressed into Your Friend and Mine, Figment. And what's on it? The original 1983 version performed by Chuck McCann as Dreamfinder and Billy Barty as Figment. That's for the original version. And then on the other side, we get the modern 2002 version with Eric Idle as Dr. Nigel Channing and Dave Goelz as Figment. So this is super cool. I'm looking forward to doing my episode on that song, and I gotta get one of these. The next one is Fantasmic, a new commemorative release of the Nighttime Show's audio. And it's interesting because it says it's commemorative. And that's a word you use about something that's kind of finished. You commemorate something that has already happened. So, is this a 35th anniversary celebration, and at the same time is Disney quietly getting ready to change the current version and get this one kind of locked in on wax? I don't know. Nobody knows. Well, somebody knows, but that someone ain't me. But I'm excited for this one. Fantasmic. Classic. This is classic. Love it. Now, the next 2 are interesting. One is a Phineas and Ferb album. I'm not going to get super into that one. It's a great show, not super parks related. But they're also doing a Winnie and the Pooh die-cut vinyl featuring the song Winnie the Pooh and Heffalumps and Woozles. And doesn't it look cute? It's pretty cute. And Heffalumps and Woozles is a Sherman Brothers song, and probably the scariest thing in the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh ride, which has been kind of quietly traumatizing 4-year-olds since 1999. And that whole sequence is kind of a weird fever dream with purple elephants and shifting geometry, and it's a song in a minor key aimed directly at toddlers. So we'll have to maybe discuss that in a future episode, but and I'm putting that on the list. It's on the list now. And I just want to point something out because it keeps happening. Now, that's 3 of these 7 releases have Sherman Brothers material on them. You've got One Little Spark, Heffalumps and Woozles, and the things that end up on the EPCOT record, which are going to have Sherman Brothers songs. Those guys are still unmatched in attraction music. Way to go, Bob and Dick. Now, this next one, while not exactly attraction related, is still very exciting. It's the 1994 original broadcast recording of Beauty and the Beast on vinyl for the very first time ever, with a limited run signed by Susan Egan. And party people, I have to read you something from earlier in this exact script, written before this was announced today. And I quote, I think there's a non-zero chance of an anniversary release because Beauty and the Beast is turning 35 and Alice in Wonderland is turning 75, and I think both have panels this weekend. Look, I nailed it. I called it. That's why I'm the expert. And the Susan Egan part is not a small detail. She originated Belle on Broadway in 1994. She's the voice of Meg in Hercules, and she's being named a 2026 Disney legend this weekend. So very cool and exciting. Looking forward to that. So that's 7 of the 14, leaving, let's see, carry the 1, 7. 7 still unannounced recordings as I'm filming this right now. They're revealing them one at a time as we approach the weekend, D23. And, there's going to be changes after I upload this, but I've made peace with that. Now, here's what you've been waiting for. My predictions based on some conflicting reports from my inside sources. And I'll definitely do a follow-up on this next week after D23, and you can hold me accountable. But I think there is going to be at least 2 more that are park titles. You know, they led with EPCOT, and I think there's more to come. Maybe a Disneyland or a Hollywood studio album similar to the EPCOT record. That would be an obvious move. And if there's any justice, somebody will finally give us maybe some Tokyo Disney Sea material. A proper Western vinyl release, though I'd probably put that maybe at a 15% chance. I also said an attraction-specific release could happen. And then the Figment and Fantasmic both were announced, so I'm taking that one too. Which means now I'm doubling down. I think we get at least one more attraction-specific title. And my picks are either Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway or maybe Rise of the Resistance. But my wildcard prediction is the full soundtrack of the late great Muppet Vision 3D. And I think at least 4 of them are going to be film soundtracks tied to whatever they're announcing at the Entertainment Showcase on Friday. Maybe they're related to Disney Plus shows, Marvel or Star Wars. And on the anniversary releases, I already nailed Beauty and the Beast. They announced that. So the other one is Alice in Wonderland turning 75. So that's a possibility. And there's a panel for that this weekend. So I think that might be coming. And what I want, and we'll probably never get, is an official release of the whole Captain EO soundtrack and score. Probably not for obvious reasons. One more thing about the booth. Disney Music Group is running a working radio booth where guests can record their own Be Our Guest segments, and selected recordings will actually air on the Disney Hits Sirius XM channel. So if you're going, there's a free way to get your voice on satellite radio, which is more than I can say for my last 3 bands. But can you imagine if I was there, I could take my acoustic bass and just walk around and perform the songs like I've been doing on the channel, just on bass. Then I would go into the booth and sing Be Our Guest. And then I'd be on the radio. And I'd be like, hey, there's that guy. Like and subscribe. Wow, what a dream. Maybe next time. Now, as for the programming this weekend, I'm going to skip over the concerts. There's some very cool concerts happening over the weekend. But I'm going to focus on the 3 panels that are absolutely park music business. So the big one is called the Sherman Brothers on the Record, and the host is Randy Thornton. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, Randy Thornton is a Grammy-winning producer and Disney's music historian. And he's the guy responsible for basically every archival Disney music release of the last 30 years. The Legacy Collection, the park box sets, he's a large part of the reason you can hear a lot of this material at all. And the panel description says he's bringing rare recordings, demos, and interviews from his years working directly with Bob and Dick. Demos, party people. Unreleased Sherman Brothers demos played in a room by the man who has the tapes. I basically have been begging to hear the demos on every episode we've done since I started this channel. So if something surfaces in that room and it changes what we know about It's a Small World, A Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, and how that got written, you'll hear about it from me the following week. And if he plays the demo of the fast version of A Small World, I'm going to need someone to record it on their phone and send it to me immediately. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears, it's a world of hope and a world of fears. It's a bunch that we share that it's time we're aware it's a small world after all. The next panel is Sounds Delightful. Wait, what's the name of the panel? Sounds Delightful. No, I know it sounds delightful. It sounds great. But what's the name of the panel? Sounds Delightful. Right, I get it, but I need the name of the panel. The name of the panel is Sounds Delightful. Are you telling me that the name of the panel that is going on is called Sounds Delightful? Yes, it sounds delightful. I agree it sounds delightful. Oh, I get it. Why didn't you just say that? A panel with Disney artist and historian Stacia Martin going through her personal collection of rare and vintage Disney vinyl. It does sound delightful. And then finally, Disney Music presents The Art of the Score with Michael Giacchino. Now, Giacchino is mostly there to talk about his film work with Pixar and Marvel and Lucasfilm, but the man does have park credits, so who knows. And even though this isn't theme park specific, I'm super excited for Seth MacFarlane's panel on the Muppet Songbook, where he's discussing an upcoming Muppets orchestral album. That's a real record that's really happening, and I'm over the moon. Over the moon. All right, now here's the fun part. Weird rumors, or just regular rumors. So, Saturday night is the Parks panel. It's called Horizons Disney Experiences Showcase, and they got Neil Patrick Harris hosting, and it's all framed around Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. So on that note, and rumor number one, the Carousel of Progress is closed right now for the biggest overhaul in its history. I talk about it on Friday's episode. Every scene is being changed. There's a Walt animatronic going in, and it's expected to be back in 2027. So, as I'm covering in Friday's episode, the ride had its theme song swapped before. The General Electric bench There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow for nearly 20 years in favor of The Best Time of Your Life, and then it came back and was re-recorded with the new voice cast in 1994. I think for this one, the song is staying. They may have kind of referenced that directly or indirectly, but the rumor is around a new arrangement, new orchestration, new vocals, maybe some updated lyrics. They have recently added new lyrics to Small World, so it is possible. I guess we'll find out soon. Rumor number two is around World of Color. So multiple outlets are reporting rumors that the original version of the show is coming back to Paradise Bay in early 2027, possibly with enhancements pulled from later movies and other versions of shows. So do we get the original suite back intact? Or is it a re-edit with new cues dropped in? I'm leaning towards them just bringing back the original score with no changes, but again, we shall see. Rumor number three. Let's talk about that Fantasmic release. So they've announced the commemorative Fantasmic record in the same week as the Dragon they announced the Dragon coming back. So either they're celebrating the show or they're archiving the current score right before they change it up. We'll see about that. Rumor 4. The Main Street Electrical Parade, which holds a special place in my heart, is being widely rumored to be coming back in 2027, which is its 55th anniversary. And if you've ever wondered what the actual deal is with the Baroque Hoedown and why a 1967 Moog novelty record became the most recognizable parade music in the world, write that down because that's definitely a future episode. And rumor 5, it's a bit weird one because Neil Patrick Harris is hosting and the internet has decided that means he's playing the new Dreamfinder in a Figment overhaul. Now, when I first was researching this section, I said that that would be something and I would lose my mind if they announced the return of the original One Little Spark with an updated recording. And then while I was about to record this, Disney announced a Figment-shaped record with 2 versions of One Little Spark on it. So I'm not saying that's yay or nay to this rumor. But Disney puts out merchandise for things that aren't happening all the time. But also, do you press a die-cut picture disc of an attraction song that doesn't get a lot of attention the same week your parks panel is being hosted by the guy the internet has already cast as Dreamfinder for no reason? Something's going on with Figment. We're going to get to the bottom of this. So that's it. 14 records, 7 of them revealed as I'm recording this. 7 more still to come over the days. We got an EPCOT album with a lot of unknowns on it. A man with a box of Sherman Brothers demo tapes. A lot of questions surrounding the music for all these new attractions they've announced. And I'll be watching all of it. And I'm putting out a recap video next week, going through what exactly got announced versus what I just guessed at, what I got wrong, what I got right. And if you want that, now's a good time to hit the old like and subscribe. So party people, what do you think is going to be announced music-wise? Does Illuminations make the EPCOT record? And if it does, is it a full length or edit? What's the one park score you would buy on vinyl tomorrow that Disney has never released? Do we see that full release of Muppet Vision 3D on vinyl? And is the Figment record a coincidence? Or is Disney hinting at something? I want to know down in the comments below. This Friday we're grabbing an air-conditioned seat to talk about the most relentlessly optimistic song ever written. And next week we're back with everything D23 actually announced. Until the next loop, remember, if you're going to D23, they ship the vinyl to your house for free. And they ship to my house for free. Just saying. Oh, And don't carry a 2LP gatefold around the convention center for 9 hours. You got to give your arms a rest. That's an area loop safety tip. 14 records. Where am I going to put all these records? And how do I turn this thing off?